you love me now? But you gotta decide. Do you love me or you love me now? But you gotta decide. Do you love me?
All right, girls, welcome in to Heart and Soul. This platform is just a place where we can just freely express, you know. So, you want to introduce yourselves to each other? I know this is our first time being in the same space.
My name's Amanda. I don't know what you want me to tell her though. So
Well, I'm Zalasia. I'm her niece. I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, this platform, I can tell you this. This platform is about mothering. So I'm going to say that my name is Ceaux, and I am a mother of two beautiful daughters. They are 5 and 7. So, how old are your babies?
My baby's 2 months.
Oh, she got a new baby. I have a 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a fresh 18-year-old.
Done. Oh my God. I don't know what's that gonna feel like.
Me either. I'm not sure. I would like to say I'm excited, but I don't know because for 21 years I've been somebody's mama. So, not that I'm not mama anymore, but it's just different. Like they all going out and starting their own lives, and
it's kind of like, okay,
now who am I without them? So, this is just it's new, and I mean, like I told my husband the other day, we did everything we had to do for 21 years to raise our kids to get them to where they wanted to be in life, and or at least on their way to where they want to be in life. So now it's time to like find out who we are again. So I don't know. I'm excited to see where that lands us.
Well, I've had the pleasure of meeting one of your daughters at least, so I think
we did all right. I don't know
I think
how
so,
because we were just winging it, but I think we did all right. I mean,
So, like you saying winging it, like, what would you say is the definition of a good mother?
So it's being there. It's giving them the space to grow, but also keeping them reined in so they don't get too far in their own way. Just giving them like a safe space so you can always call me. I don't care what it is, how big, how small it is. I'm here. Not that I always feel like I do a good job of it, but I'm learning just like they're learning. So it's to try to give myself grace and give them grace and learn that I don't know it all. And sometimes it takes apologizing to your kids because we don't know it all. And we're just doing the best we can with what we have.
I can totally agree with that because I think the perfect mom is just not perfect at all.
Mm-mm.
I mean, a perfect mom is one who's willing to grow, who's willing to accept that she's not always right, but willing to, fix it and be honest about it and, be raw and be present. I know your baby is only a couple months, but you can, what is your idea of a good mom?
I feel like she said, just being there, like just showing up and just giving it what you got. Like you don't know everything, but just trying, just doing the best you can every day.
I love to hear it, girl. So, I'm gonna let you start with this one because it's so fresh for you. What is the part of parenting no one prepares you for?
I want to say the way it feels lonely. Like no matter how many people is there, I feel like most days I'm just lonely. Like it's just me and my baby. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like nobody prepared me for that. Like, I have a big support system, but like I said, it just feels so lonely. Like it's just me and my baby. I just have to do what I have to do every day. Like nobody prepared me to feel like so in charge. I'm just used to my mama doing everything for me. So nobody prepared me, just like, oh, it's your baby, your rules. Like, you just got to make the decisions. Like, I don't know. Some days I just feel lost. Like, I don't know what to do.
And the thing is, I can say this, and I've been a mom for 9 years, and even before that, because I have a bonus son. And she's been a mom for 21 years, and I'm sure you can agree that, it may get like that sometimes. It's always gonna be like that, possibly, because you have a husband over there.
Right.
So,
So I'm not single parenting. I have a partner in all of this, and my husband is also, he's there for everything. Whether it's a football practice, a volleyball game, whatever it is, he's always done everything he could. If he had to park that truck on the side of the road so he could come to an event, he's always done everything he can to be there. So it is harder. I mean, I'm the product of a single teenage mom. So I get that, and that was always I didn't know a healthy family growing up. I didn't understand healthy families could exist. Everyone in our family was divorced or just trauma. So I didn't know that could be a thing. So when I met my husband and he wanted kids, I was like, I don't know about that, because growing up, I was like, I don't want kids. I mean, I helped to raise my younger siblings, and I was like, I don't want that. And he did. So I kind of had to, let's see where this is going to go. We had our first kid right away. But I mean, we've been in this 23 years together. Like, I couldn't ask for a better partner in this. And I do not take for granted how blessed I am to have that, because I remember growing up and like it was just me and my mom, and just, her sacrifices and things like that to make sure I had the things that I needed. And, it is. But I don't care if you have a partner or not. As a mom, you carry so much of that weight for nurturing them, for, giving them the emotional side of things. It's always going to feel lonely. I mean, and I have mom friends, and I still feel like it's just me. Like, in a room full of people, you feel like it's just me. And I'm responsible for these 3 extra lives. And you're just trying to get them through. It's hard. So don't feel alone in feeling that way. Like, that's perfectly normal.
So I can say that the hardest part for me is, I mean, I resonate with that, and I still feel alone too. And I don't feel like I have this huge support system. I have people that loves me and that loves my kids, but those people have their own lives. They can't be there all the time. And my kids are not their responsibility. So, yeah, I mean, that's all you right there. That baby grew inside you, you know, regardless, you have to, it's a lonely road, but it's worth it. I can say becoming a parent is when growth kind of started. I mean, I thought I was grown. I thought I was grown. I thought I had it all figured out. And then guess what? I became a mom and I didn't know nothing. I didn't know anything. And like you mentioned earlier, showing up, you know, even when it feels lonely, even when you're in a room full of people, just showing up. And then when you're in a room full of people, you still have to remember that you have a child, you know? So I guess I still can ask, is that the hardest thing? Like, what is the hardest thing about being a mother?
I don't know. I really don't. I feel like I don't know, because I don't know.
All of it's hard.
Yeah, like everything is just so like I don't know. I feel like I just always feel like a chicken with my head cut off every day. So I don't know what's really the hardest thing. Like if I had to pick, I would probably say I don't know. I don't know. I don't really feel like that's really anything to pick because I would say me just not getting enough sleep. So not like sometimes I feel like I'm not being like the best mom because like I'm so tired, I'm so sleepy. I'm trying to sleep. I'm trying to do schoolwork. I'm trying to do this like I just feel like I can't balance everything sometimes. So like I just feel like I'm halfway showing up for Kaisley. So I don't know. I don't know.
What do you think the hardest part is?
The guilt. You're always, like you said, you feel like you're not doing enough. And I think the hardest part for me has always been like, I, ex- I expect perfection in myself in all aspects. And I feel like I should know what to do. If my daughter called me yesterday and, what do I do about this? And who do I call for insurance? And I was like, you know, I really don't know. I mean, because you just don't. I mean, there's so much that one whole different topic, but we don't prepare kids for real life and what actually happens. Like you send your kids to school and they're going to teach them how to read and write and all these things, but they don't teach them about real life. Well, we didn't get taught about real life either.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have those answers to give them. And it makes me feel horrible when I can't just fix it. If they're hurting and I can't fix it. So it's the constant guilt of why can't I do this right? But then I figure like I'm doing the best I can with what I got. The tools that I had, the tools, I've all anybody who knows me that we've sat down and had conversations about motherhood or parenthood in general, I always say we learn two things from our parents: how to be a parent and how not to be a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of things that, I've taken from my mom and I've learned and I tried, that's the operative word there is tried to do a little better. But there's also a lot of things that my mom did with me, didn't do with me, didn't allow, that I didn't want that same, I guess, the same cycle with my kids. So I learned both from her. Your daughter is going to learn both from you, and that's okay. And even now, I mean, I think sometimes my kids will get mad at me because I don't understand why you do this, or I don't understand why you say that. And I tell them all the time, when you have yours, do better. And I think they think that I'm saying it like I'm being, sarcastic. I'm not. I genuinely mean, take the things that you see that I'm doing that you feel are absolutely just out the box wrong in whatever way, fix it with your kids, because that's all we can do is try to be a little bit better
Mm-hmm.
than our moms, and then our moms, felt about their moms. There's no such thing as a perfect mom, but you're there. You're doing the best that you can. You're trying to balance everything. It's not easy. I had 3 kids and I was in college, and like having a partner there, it was still hard. And working full time, like it was all hard all the time. There isn't an easy part, but I can tell you, like, when my son was little, he was attached to my hip like that. I couldn't take a step without tripping over him. But when he would come and climb in the bed and just want to talk about a whole lot of nothing for hours, it was like it was something so insignificant, but it meant everything because, like, I was his safe place. Even with my girls are so close in age, they have each other. But I was their safe place. And that makes it feel like, okay, maybe it will, all the tears that you kind of hide off by yourself and you cry, maybe it was worth it. Maybe it's not so bad. To tell you it's easy, it's not. Like, I haven't found an easy part of parenting. Now, granted, I had very easy children. They were well mannered. I didn't have to fuss at them. Like, if I said no, It was no. They didn't buck well until they became teenagers. But growing up, so I had very easy kids, and it was still hard. All the things were still hard, but I would do it a million times over. Even being somebody who didn't want kids, I would do it a million times over.
I kind of think that we all as individuals have our own journeys, and our kids have theirs. But by them being our kids, they're a part of our journey. So I think it's always kind of going to be different with each kid, and I think it's going to be its own level of hard because it's its own level of growth. And I feel like my hardest part about being a parent is not projecting my past traumas onto them. And I didn't have the best relationship with my mom. I never knew my dad, and I come from a lot of toxic. So I obsessed over providing them with a different, like, kind of the same,
Yeah.
way. And I think in that, I was overstimulated. I am still overstimulated. I am only now calming more because I'm figuring this stuff out now. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, not projecting my trauma onto them, but growing at their rate. I'll give you an example. I There was something very horrible that happened to me when I was 5. When my daughter turned 5, that opened up a big can of worms. People on the outside looking in may have seen what it did to me, but they didn't understand what was happening inside my head.
Yeah.
And I probably pushed people away. I probably a lot of things I can say, and the fact of the matter is I was actively living through my 5-year-old trauma when my child was 5. And then, I realized I need to heal this so that my child, they won't go through it because I'm gonna make sure, but at the same time, I don't want to project that onto them. I still want them to be able to live free. I want them to live their experience that they're supposed to live. So I'm tasked with growing, with healing while mothering. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to mother through your pain. So I think that's about the hardest thing. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what life throws me. I still gotta be a mama. It's times when I was laying on my closet floor crying. When them kids say, "Mommy, I'm hungry," you gotta get up and go feed them. You know, without a support system, without somebody you can call and say, "Can you just come get them?" Because you sometimes you don't even trust that. Because you so messed up mentally from your trauma. So I think that kind of leads me to ask how did you find balance between being a mom and all of your other obligations, being a wife or being someone's sister, being someone's friend, working a job? How did you find balance?
I didn't. I still don't.
Me either.
Um, so I mean, like, yes, my kids are grown. I still have one at home who leaves the end of this month, and he's moving away, 12 hours away. Um, I have a pretty stressful job. I do a lot of traveling for work. My husband has been dealing with some medical issues the last couple years. So, on top of being somebody's mama, being somebody's wife, and being somebody's boss, now I'm also having to be somebody's nurse and the sole provider, in the home. But we are a team, and that is, I think, the only thing that keeps me sane, honestly, is my kids have our backs in ways that, like, you don't expect children to do. And I mean, my oldest has been working since she was 15. She would come and say, I know, things might be a little tight right now. Can I help? Can I buy groceries? Can I pay a bill? Can I, I know daddy has another surgery coming up. What do y'all need? Both of my girls are, they kind of, I guess, I always say Kalani she became like second mom to the other two. She's always been one to pick up my slack. Whether it was, I'm forgetting football equipment and we hours away and she's like, nope, I packed it. Um, she has always been this a safe space for her siblings. If it wouldn't be for my kids and my husband, there would be no balance. And even so, I mean, since I was young, I've always dealt with depression. Like 11, I think I was diagnosed with depression. I don't, I'm not on medication. I don't see therapists, like, none of those things. But they are truly the things that saved me. And I always, like, when I feel myself kind of spiraling, I'll always look and be like, but you've come this far for them, because of them, with them. You got to pull yourself out of this. It's not easy. I mean, like I said, I feel more stressed now, I think, that they're older than I did when they were younger. But I think it's because it's survival mode, right? Like, you do what you have to do because you know people are dependent on you. Do I have a good balance? No, because I guarantee you when my son's gone next month and my girls are at work or whatever, I'm going to throw myself into my job because I don't know how to balance things. I know how to be somebody's mama and I know how to work. So if my kids don't need me, then I'm going to throw myself into my work. So I'm going to have to make a conscious effort to say, but now is my time where I get to be somebody's wife. Also, I get to enjoy things with my husband now that maybe we couldn't do. We didn't have time. We didn't have the finances. Whatever it is, I get to do that. So
And you get to be you.
I get to learn who me is because me don't know who me is.
Look, listen. When I first became a part of Conveaux Club and I introduced myself, everybody introduced themselves with their occupation, and I was like, I'm a mother.
Yeah.
Like that consumes my life.
It does.
Everything else is like aftermath. So finding balance is definitely. I'm trying to find balance too, and I think it's coming. I believe it's coming. It's coming. Let's declare that it's coming. But I mean, I guess the next question I was gonna ask is how long did it take you to find your stride? But I mean, we've answered that already. You still become overstimulated. I thought I put that thing on airplane mode.
I mean, you learning though, and the biggest thing is, especially you having a brand new baby. There's gonna be days that you are standing in your shower crying. You are like, can somebody just come and take this baby so I can take a nap? There's gonna be those days, and you're gonna feel so guilty for feeling that way because you love your baby and like all you want is to love your baby. But if you don't have anything to give, you're not being the best mother that you can be to them. If somebody says, you want to just go take a shower, just, whatever, let me sit with the baby for a little while. If it's somebody you trust, take advantage of that because it is hard. And doing it alone, and you said you're in school, like, that's stressful. You have finals, you have exams, you've got all these things that you have to try to balance. I'm not sure if you have a job on top of all of that, but like, it's hard. Give yourself some grace. Like, just understand you're not gonna break her, even though it feels like it. And I can tell you, as the parent of adult children, who every day feels like I broke them. I too much of my own past traumas, too much of my own being in my own head has spilled over onto them, and I know that it has. I know it has, but I didn't break them. Because they're still good, respectable, well mannered children who if you need something right now, they're gonna come to you, whether they know you or not. So yes, I've probably done some harm, but I feel like I've done more good with them. So I hope so anyway. Just don't let it get you to a point where you feel like everything I do is wrong. Because you're gonna have those days. I promise you're gonna have those days. But you're not. And at the end of the day, she's still gonna look at you and that you still mommy and you still her safe place and you're still her comfort. Like you can do almost nothing and she's still gonna look at you like a superhero.
And then when there's those moments that, you feel like you may have done something wrong, then you already doing something right. You
Because you
acknowledging,
care.
and then the only thing next is to fix it. I don't think as long as you're like you said, active, you're there, you're trying, it's never too late to fix it. You know. So, and I was talking to you, Miss Amanda, and you said don't lose yourself in becoming a mother. It is so easy to lose yourself in motherhood. Like, I am only now figuring out who I am too. And my kids are not grown and gone, but you know, I didn't know. Like, I mean, I stayed in the house for years, only working and kids. I wore sweatpants all the time. Like, I didn't put myself together. I didn't, when I decided to go somewhere for the first time, I didn't even know the music. And the music that I listened to before, I had been listening to Kids by Kids for years. Like when we ride in the car, it's still Kids by Kids and K-pop now. But you know, I had to start. I mean, I guess I start by listening to the things that I did like. The things that I still like. I listened to bounce music back then, but now I don't really enjoy bounce music anymore. I like a little neo soul, a little R&B, old school, not new. So I mean, it's easy, 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 I guess, to lose yourself in becoming a mom.
Yeah.
So you've had your first trip and your baby is 2 months. I didn't have my first trip till my kids were years old. How was that for you?
I wanted to go home the whole time. Like I tried my best not to call everybody like every hour, but I just like no matter what we did, we'll be eating and I'll be like, I wonder what Casey doing. Or like we'll be doing something, I'll just be like, I don't know. I feel like me being here is wrong. Like I just felt like me being there was wrong. Like I should be at home with my baby right now. Like that's I don't know, like I really understand what y'all say about losing yourself and being a mom because some days I feel like I can't do anything but be a mom. Like that's it. Like I feel like I can't study anymore. I just can't do stuff for me. I just have to be a mom and that's it.
Let me say this. So in those moments, let me mentally prepare myself to receive this too. Because I need to tell this to myself. In those moments, whenever you feel like I can't do this because of my mom, the next thing I want you to do is to repeat, I'm a mom. How do I do this? We kind of got to change the way that we're thinking about it
Mm-hmm.
because you can do it as a mom. I know a lot of moms that's done it. We just don't know how to do it. And some of us have support system and some of us don't. If you when you do have those people that you trust, utilize them. Don't feel like, oh, I don't want to be a burden, especially when they're telling you, because I'm teething. I be telling you, you're not a burden to me, and I know what it feels like. So I'm gonna be there. And I'm so glad I had the night shift whenever you was on the trip, so you don't be calling me all night. But just think about it in a new way. Find a new way to think about it. Like, okay, because you're a mom, that's not gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is at this point. But you can say, all right, how do I do this while being a mom?
Mm-hmm.
How do I get my studying done while being a mom?
Like recently I've been thinking about quitting school because I'm like, I don't know how to balance like school and taking care of my baby and like asking people, can you watch while I do this? Can you do that? Like I don't, like you said, I be feeling like I'm a burden. Like I just feel like, well, she just watched the baby 2 days ago. Like I don't want to ask her again. But that's why I'm like, well, maybe I have to quit school. But then on the other hand, I'm like, well, what you gonna do if you quit? You can't quit
You
because
almost there.
right. You have to, you have to cross the finish line. So what you gonna do if you quit? What's next? Like I can't give up, but it's like every day I think about giving up because I just feel like it's too much, like it's too heavy.
I think about giving up sometimes on things, but you know, I think that's what you really can't do. So you could do all the other things that you tell yourself you can't do, but you can't give up. You feel what I'm saying? Because what you gonna do?
Right.
Or what Casey's gonna do. So giving up is not really an option. Although, I mean, we're human and we're gonna think about it sometimes. So we just gotta program our minds to think around that. And I am a person that too does not like to feel like I'm a burden. You know, my kid's dad is very active. You know, he helps me tremendously with our kids, but I still feel like I'm a burden to him sometimes, and I have to, fight myself to not feel that way because, this is his kids, and I encourage you to not feel like you are caseless being a burden because, I mean, I know a little bit about you, so I know that your mom moved here to help you. She actively uprooted her whole life, quit her job, got to do it just to be here for you. You can't be a burden. If you feel like you're a burden, she chose that. That's her life. She chose to be here for you. I choose to be here for you. You have a support system. So utilize us, especially while we willing. Because don't let us start living and not be available. what you say?
But that's so. I mean, I understand. I don't want to say we didn't have a support system. We had a support system, but it was very small. Um, and it was kind of like very spotty. So sometimes we would have it and sometimes we wouldn't. There were days because I wanted my kids with me. Like I always felt like if they're with me, they're safe. I don't have to worry about anybody treating them wrong, doing anything to them. Like I know as long as they're with me, they're safe. There were literally days where my mom would call me and say, I'm sure you and Chris need a date night. Can you please bring me my grandbabies? And we would go to the movies and we go to dinner and then we would just sit in the car and be like, I really miss the kids. And I would call my mom and she would answer the phone and say, you're not coming get them. We would go to my mama's house and just sit there because I just wanted to be by my kids. Like I just needed to, and that was my mom. Like that's my mom. They are fine with my mom, but it was like you said, you feel guilty, like you're not allowed to have a life, but you have to because your kids, and I can say that's part of the damage that I've done because we are such a tight family. Like if you see one, you see us all. My kids are grown and I feel guilty for being here. But it's because we were so close, we always had each other. So my kids, especially my girls, didn't they didn't socialize a whole lot because we have a built-in best friend, built-in best friends. Like we don't need to socialize. And even now they're trying to learn how to be more social, to interact with other people. And a lot of times they'll kind of, their sisters, they have that bond, so they'll just look at each other and they speak without speaking. And then other people will take it as like they think they're better than us, and that's not the case. It's just that's part of the damage that we've done because we didn't they were always allowed to have people at our house anytime they wanted to. I was not okay with them going
I'm
to
like
other
that too.
people's. Right. So, I mean, like, I can literally count on one hand and still have fingers left over the houses that my children have ever stayed at. Because,
Me too.
because what do you mean you want to go and, like, it was just hard. So, yeah, I take my accountability for that. Like, I should have maybe pushed them out a little bit, like go venture, do. And I mean, now it's like I worry, did by us having that bond is like my girls, if one has a job somewhere, the other one works there too. Like they've had multiple jobs where they kind of and they live, they can see each other's apartments from where they live. They don't live together, but and I'm like, did we create attachment issues in our kids because we were so close? Like that was part of what how we wanted our family dynamic to be that close with our kids, but like how bad did we screw them up by doing that?
Well, I can tell you, I don't think it's bad at all. I mean, that's what I'm aiming for. And I feel like this is a crazy world, and it's a lonely world. And I think that they have someone. You guys made sure they have someone. I tell my girls all the time, all y'all have. Listen, y'all want to talk about me? Go talk about me together.
And they do, and they do. When they become teenagers, they will. You're gonna see them all huddled up, and
I see them already.
and you're gonna see the eyes.
I've been peeping it lately. That's a new one right now for me. And then I gotta ask what. So I mean I love it because I'm trying to raise kids that are not so overly influenced by social media and society, and in doing that, if they were alone, they would be alone. You know what I'm saying? And even though they have each other, I still try to branch out and find friends for them, with mothers who, kind of have the same wave as I do, so that they won't be so alone in this world.
But that's hard in this world because you have so many parents just in general that I guess so there are certain things that we've always allowed with our kids once they hit a certain age. We've allowed that other people would be like, you're a terrible parent for that. And then there's other things that like other people think are no big deal that is a big deal to us. You can't tell me how to parent what came out of me. I'm sorry, you just can't. But it's like trying to find that balance, like my last year, my son was 17. He's wanting to go and do, and that's fine. But like he had curfews set and he didn't like his curfew because that's too early. He was like, I literally have friends who are leaving at the time you telling us that I have to be home. And my husband was like, plead your case. Like, tell me why you feel it's okay for you to be out, and convince me why, I should feel comfortable changing my rules. And he did. He sat down in the kitchen. He was nervous. You could tell, like he was jittery, but he did, and he explained, like, I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to be doing. Like, I'm gonna respect the rules that y'all have. I just want to do it a little later. And we kind of gave a trial, and things went okay. But like I said, he's 17 at that point. We were still learning because my girls didn't ask to go out and do. So I mean, that was even having 3 kids brought up the same way in the same house. There's still 3 different people. So like your daughter being so young, like quitting school, don't do it. Don't do it. If you have to cut down on your course load, if you have, just keep making steps towards your goals, because she's going to always look at that and she's going to be like, my mama still pushed through and did all these things despite anything she was up against. It's going to be worth it. It's a sacrifice on your part for her, but it like you have to look at the big picture, and you don't see it when you're in the middle of it. Like, you can't see things when you're in the middle of a storm. And everything in parenthood feels like a storm. So you have to try to take a step back and look at the big picture of it, and what goals are you trying to accomplish and why. And she 100% is always going to be your why. Your mom coming here for you is part of your why, because she believes in you and she wants to be a part of it, so much so that she would uproot her whole life to be there for you. So when, like she said, when you have good people who genuinely want to see you succeed, they're going to be there to help, and you're not going to be a burden. So don't feel that way, because you're going to add on to your own guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you say, look, I have finals coming up, I just need a couple hours so I could lock in and study. Yes, during that study time, you're going to be thinking, what is she doing? Is she okay? Does she need anything? But you also have to remember, you wouldn't put her in somebody's hands if you didn't trust that person.
Mm-hmm.
So that person got it under control for 2 hours while you study. Just lock in, focus on that, and then get all the snuggles you want after they get back.
You know what else I'm gonna add to that? You're going to know, you know your child. So I would say, if she, she's 2 months now, but it happens fast.
Mm-hmm.
So if she goes with somebody, say she comes with me, when I come back to get her, if she's screaming and crying not to come with me, then she don't want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, sometimes they just fall behind you, but you know, you'll know
Mm-hmm.
the difference. You'll know the difference in a cry. You'll know the difference whenever you get your child back. You pay attention, and that can make it comfortable. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and with my girls, they are, they started sleeping out just probably like year before last to my one cousin house, and if they cry, they don't go. I've been dressed to go to an event and got in the car to bring them, and my baby would cry, we just go back in the house. And I'm not telling you to do that, because I did lose myself in being a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I first started trying to get out, and my kids wasn't used to that. But by her crying, I'm not about to bring my baby to nobody's house at nighttime and they're crying not to go.
Right.
I'm not even gonna enjoy it, and it's not something that I need.
Mm-hmm.
So you need school. you know you have aspirations to become a nurse, and you're almost there. You're about to start clinicals. So you'll know. If you haven't deciphered between cries yet, you will. You're gonna know if it's a scared cry. You're gonna feel her energy, and I think that can kind of make you more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
you know so I want to start with you with this question. I want to know if you can give any young girl advice um about motherhood from your experience thus far. you know what would you say?
Um, my advice would be, no matter what's going on around you, just do what you have to do. Don't get lost into, oh, this person isn't there, that person isn't there. Just focus on you and what you have to do. As long as you're doing what you have to do, that's all that should matter to you. I feel like a lot of times I get lost in, oh, well, this person said they was going to be here, this person said this, and then I look around and it's just me. But that's not the focus. The focus is the kid. I feel like I focus a lot on, oh, I feel like this person should be here, that person should be here. But as long as I'm a mom, that's all that matters. I shouldn't dwell on what you're doing. If you're not doing what you have to do, then I can't do anything about it. I feel like I need to stop focusing on things that I can't change. That would be my advice. Like, don't stress about stuff that you can't change.
Don't forget that advice. You're gonna always need it. Shoot.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like I do that a lot. I dwell on what I expected versus reality. So I feel like just focus on you and your kid. Long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing as a mother, what everybody else doing or isn't doing doesn't matter. As long as you're doing what you need to do, that's all that matters.
Life is about choices.
You will hurt your feelings, your own feelings, expecting other people to do like you would do.
Mm-hmm.
Because they won't. We've had a lot of family, you know, that kind of have come in and out throughout, our lives. And I don't think that my kids ever missed out, because if you want to leave or you don't want to be around, that's on you. I mean, I grew up, like I said, a single mom. My mama had me when she was 15. My dad was gone by the time I was 2 and pretended I didn't exist. Went start a whole new family on a whole new continent and never told them about me. Um, but I never felt like I missed out because I had my mama. Like, my mama was, she was going to make it happen one way or another. So I spent a long time, I spent my teenage years reaching out, trying to be the peacemaker when I mean, I don't even know how. Like, I don't even know why I had family members around who, I mean, they literally living 5 minutes away and I wouldn't see them, or, I wasn't included in things with the family. So I would always be the one to reach out. And when I had kids, I was like, my kids will never feel like they need to reach out to other people to know that they're loved, to know that they're accepted, to know that they have a space. We are going to do everything in our power to make sure they know they always have us to depend on. I don't care where you are, what you're doing. If you need me, you're going to call me. I'm going to be there. If you look up in those stands, I'm going to be there. When you walking across that stage, I'm going to be there. Like, you don't ever have to doubt that. As long as I have breath in my body, I'm there. And it does not matter who else is not, because that's your loss.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 excellent children. You don't want to be in a part of their lives? I'm sorry. Sorry for you, because we good. Like, we good over here.
And that keeps the peace for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
So if you're figuring that out right now, when you have a 2-month-old, you're going to be just fine. But you have to remember that, and there's going to be days that you don't. There's going to be days that you like, why? Like, why is no one here? Why can't you show up? You're going to have a party for your baby, and there's going to be people that you like, that they definitely going to be there. And then all of a sudden they're not. And why? But that's on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we also have to remember everybody has their own lives. We don't know what's going on. I mean, like, you could have an unexpected death in the family, and then you can't, other people can't expect you to be there for them. So I mean, the fact that you know that now, you already got a really good head start.
And I'm gonna add, like you said, you don't know what other people have going on, or where their mind is, or what level of growth they're on. So I mean, I let people go, and as long as when they come back, they come correct. I give them grace, because everybody's not gonna be you. Everybody's gonna grow at their own pace. You know, so. But like I said, if they come in correct, and it's somebody that you want to be back, I think it's okay. Just give them grace, and I think you find peace in knowing that we all have choices. So let people choose what they want to choose, and you continue to do what you do. Miss Amanda, do you have any advice based on your experience?
Like I said, just give yourself grace through it all, no matter what. Just understand that you learning as you go. Like, I don't care. You could have the best mama in the world that has done, in your eyes, everything right. You're still learning. Set your boundaries for other people and understand that your child, you are responsible for. Other people cannot tell you what to do or how to do it. They can give advice. That doesn't mean you have to take it. And when you have a hard no, it's a hard no. Nobody gets to change your mind. Nobody gets to talk you into anything. You know what you are willing to accept and not willing to accept.
Mm-hmm.
Stick with it. Like, if nothing, if you don't get anything else out of these conversations, give yourself some grace and set your boundaries and mean it. Because there's always the possibility down the road when you're like, well, you let somebody talk you into something and you get burned. Or worse, your baby gets hurt. and then you ready to, that unlocks a whole different something in you that you probably don't know you have right now. But let somebody mess with your children one time, and it a whole different side of you comes out. So that's it. That's it. That's all. Don't stress it. It's so funny that you said you don't stress things that you can't control, because like that was my mama's biggest thing to us always. That and don't drink and drive, but don't stress anything that you can't control. And life been life thing these last 2 years for us, and I always try to be the one that kind of like reins everybody back in, the emotions, the outbursts, just you losing your mind because of everything that's going on. But what is me stressing over it gonna do if I can't control it? Nothing but stress me out too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna stress myself if I don't have to. So you're doing well.
I think the biggest thing about today is understanding you don't know what you're doing until you do it. You don't know how to be a mom until you become a mom. You don't understand what it takes until you go down that road. And even at different ages, even with our kids being at different ages, we all going through the same things. So kind of remember some of them things now, because you still gonna need them later.
And you're not alone. You're not the first one to go through anything that comes up. You're not the first one that's dealt with it. Now you may not want to ask advice or to speak to everybody about it, but trust me, people been through it. Nothing new under the sun.
Well, I would like to thank you both for pouring out your heart and soul with Coe. And we're gonna go and enjoy the rest of our day.
Yep, it was nice.
Let me hug on y'all.
She's so
We should have did a little group hug, huh?